everybody. Subscribe.
Oh. I've been up all night. Well, not all night. I think I got to bed about 4 o'clock this morning. I'm on this hash making binge.
Oh, still?
I got almost 2 ounces of hash.
What are you gonna do with it? Sit on it?
Until somebody wants to buy some, yeah.
Who the fuck buys hash?
Somebody will buy it. Michelle might.
What's up, Daga?
Maybe somebody coming down from Emily City to get some. Either today or tomorrow.
Hash?
Yeah. The guy, I made some hash for about a year
You
ago.
probably should go unplug that. Sorry. Forgot to unplug the fan. There you go. Now I can hear what you're saying. What'd you say? What? Oh, they're gonna cut off my insurance.
Who's gonna cut off your insurance?
State?
Why?
Because I forgot to fucking send it in.
Is that your health insurance?
Yeah.
Well, all you gotta do is send it in, right?
I don't know. The messages came through, sorry. What happened? Oh, so when I got a job, they basically sent me a message, like sent me a paperwork, you gotta send us in by this time.
Oh,
And I
okay.
didn't know it had a time limit.
Deadline.
And I forgot about it. And, cause they wanted me to print out a fucking pay stub and shit, and I don't have a printer, so. Anyways, so they're probably gonna cut me off. But then I'll just reapply because I'm still not making enough to actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Dude broke his fucking bubbler last night.
Oh.
Ouch.
Oh,
One of
now
the
you-
reasons I don't use fucking pipes, they break.
That's true. They break.
Joints don't break. I mean, they do, but
Or brass pipes.
just roll one. I don't like taste. Alright, at least he's got a steamroller still. That's good to hear. So yeah, they're probably gonna cut mine. I mean, I thought they were gonna cut it off anyway, just because I had a job, but it must be part-time enough that they were like, or just
not full time, so.
yeah, but now I can't imagine, because I sent it in today, like, well, hopefully they don't shut it off, but they're gonna shut it off. They're looking for any excuse to kick poor people to the fucking curb.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Any
fucking
reason.
amazing, this fucking country, and how ass backwards. it is.
How rich it's supposed to be, but how poor it really is.
Yeah, like,
It's bullshit, man. We should not, if you're a citizen of this country, you shouldn't have to worry about none of that shit.
oh,
The amount of money that they waste,
yep.
you know, and all these lobbyists and all that bullshit,
Oh,
they need to
yeah.
outlaw all that shit. Don't need no fucking, who do they need a fucking lobbyist for?
Well, they need it because it was designed by rich people. The system was built by rich people who didn't give a fuck about poor people.
And they
only
still
give a fuck
don't.
about themselves.
And they still don't.
I know.
But it's not just here, it's worldwide.
Yeah, there's some places that do it a little bit better. But, you know, still back to the point of who knows how long, like, I don't know. There's just places that do it better. We could learn, but we don't want to. We're stubborn.
Because we're told America's the best country in the world, and have you believe in that shit until something happens in your life that shows it's not true. Not the best country in the world. It could be,
Yeah.
and it should be. But you got these bought off, don't care about nobody else but their own paycheck motherfuckers.
Yep, making sure that their family stays the way it is. Nope, never. Rich Old White Man by D Automatic. Nope.
What is a rap?
Yeah, I guess.
The Automatic.
Have not.
It's not just old rich white men either.
No, it's all rich men.
You got some Negroes that are fucked up on that shit as well.
I mean, look at India.
I tell you what, let's not.
Their disparity is fucking crazy.
Let's not look at India. The racism is unbelievable in India.
Really?
If you look at, you look at Indian television, you hardly ever see anybody dark. In Indian movies,
Well,
you don't see the dark Indians.
you know what also I noticed in Indian culture, especially television? They, you could tell that it's a caste system because every time it's a fucking really, really beautiful woman and it's just a normal, me-looking dude. Kind of fugly, doesn't really make sense why he's there.
Yeah, but that's how they are.
I know, because it's a caste system. It's not about skill.
Their heroes in their movies are usually guys that are kind of chunky looking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's because they're the rich people, the ones that can afford to be movie stars. That's what it is.
Bollywood, that's what they call it.
Yeah, it's a big industry.
See, I noticed this one thing about Asians. A lot of Asians want to be white. They want to be white.
Really?
You know what one of the biggest selling things in the Philippines is?
What?
Whitening cream.
Shut up.
I'm telling you, man, Filipinos want to be as white as they can get.
That's pretty white, dude. That's fucking Michael Jackson shit.
Oh yeah, another dummy.
What?
Michael Jackson was so fucking misled.
Oh. He was abused and shit when he was a child.
He's a dope fiend anyway, man. He was a dope fiend all along.
What'd you expect?
We knew what to expect.
The dude dealt with a pretty horrific fucking childhood that most people wouldn't survive either.
What was horrific about his childhood?
His dad was a piece of shit.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't have been Michael Jackson without his dad.
Again,
There would have
he
been
might
no Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have been fucking crazy either.
It wouldn't have been no Michael Jackson.
Maybe you don't need a Michael Jackson.
It wouldn't have been no Michael Jackson if it wasn't for Joe Jackson. It wouldn't have been no Jackson 5 if it wasn't for Joe Jackson.
That's fine.
So it's a curse and a blessing at the same time.
It wasn't a blessing because it turned a dude into a fucking weirdo that needed.
Well, that's him. He's a grown ass adult. He knows right from wrong.
Again, back to my point. The dude doesn't turn into Michael Jackson in that mental sense if he's not pushed to the fucking limit when he's a child. If he's able to live a normal childhood and not constantly being abused by his father. We're not talking like, hey, you just made him work. We're talking fucking straight up abuse.
I don't know.
He's straight.
I don't know that for a fact.
It's already fucking proven. It's already talked about. His family's talked about it more than once. His dad was an abusive piece of shit.
Yeah.
That literally forced them.
To be rich and famous.
Not rich and famous. To work his fucking dick off and be a child who constantly worked. And then when he wanted to have fun, he could never have fun. So why does he own a Wonderland? The only reason the dude owns a Wonderland, like he did, Michael Jackson owned a goddamn theme park at his house.
Of course.
Why did he do that? Because when he was a fucking child, he worked every fucking day, his whole childhood, to the point where he had to never could be a child.
He did that because he could afford to do it.
Again,
And
people have money, way more money than this motherfucker ever had, and nobody else has a goddamn amusement park at their fucking house.
Oh, there are other people that have that.
Not like his.
Well, maybe not like his.
There is only one Neverland Ranch.
There's a lot of people in California with big money to have tigers and lions.
Tigers and lions are completely
All
different
kinds of
than what
shit.
this dude had. This dude had a miniature fucking Disneyland at
Yeah.
his house.
Yes.
There's nowhere else in the world that's like Neverland.
I don't know that.
No, that's. Look it up online.
I'm
You're
telling
looking
you.
tomorrow, today.
I'm
Look up
telling you
how
right
many
now.
places are as close to Neverland. Is there anywhere else in the world that's like Neverland?
Yes, there is.
Nah.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two.
You go to the Middle East, there are places like that in the Middle East,
It's
dude.
different. Middle East has fucking desert everywhere else.
No, I'm talking about the guys that are so rich they have their private zoos and all that shit.
We're not talking a private zoo, dude.
Well, that's what Michael Jackson had.
He had a private zoo and a goddamn amusement park in the same fucking spot.
Yeah, to attract children.
To be a child.
He a grown ass man. He knows what being a child is.
Again.
It's just like guys that are close to him said his voice was made up. He didn't talk like that in reality. That's not how he talked. When he was around his people or his friends and stuff, he talked like I talk.
Okay.
The guy was an act from beginning to end. Yes, his dad was abusive. I'm not saying he wasn't. He was over abusive. But there would have been no Michael Jackson without Joe Jackson.
Again, if there had been no Michael Jackson, there wouldn't have been the situation. He wouldn't be who he is now. He might have been a superstar anyway, just in a different way.
Now he's dead.
I know, and he might not be dead. Because again, you're right. He doesn't become Michael Jackson because he doesn't have that in the back of his head the rest of his life. That he doesn't burn his head. He doesn't do all the shit he did as an adult. If he doesn't have it in his fucking head that the only way he can be happy is if he makes his dad happy, and everything he does. And it's all daddy issues.
I don't see that.
Yes, the reality is he never dealt with his daddy issues. There are a lot of people out there that don't deal with their fucking daddy issues. And when you have daddy issues like that, it influences the way you are as a human.
Maybe. You might be right.
Might be right. It's just the truth. That's what Buddhists teach you.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why didn't the other guys turn out the same way Michael turned out?
Because they weren't fucking children when it was happening. They were teenagers.
No, come on, we're still kids.
Not like him. He was
the youngest.
He was the youngest, and he dealt with the most abuse because he was considered the best.
But I don't think there was that much age difference between him and the next in line. Because when they were the Jackson 5s.
Hold on, stop. I was fucking 9 or 10 years old. My brother was 7 when my mom died. That was a big fucking difference. One of us was way more aware than the other.
Okay.
And the other one, my brother did some shit.
Well, ain't nobody got a perfect family,
No, that's not my point. My point is the guy doesn't have Neverland Ranch if his dad doesn't do what he does. If his dad just tries to make them stars, they might have been stars. They might not have been. But they probably would have been because Michael Jackson is magnetic. His voice is something different.
Yeah, but his dad gave him a work ethic.
No, his dad gave him an abusive work ethic.
Well,
not a real work ethic. Because that work ethic killed him.
He gave him a work ethic.
That killed him. There's other work ethics you can get.
That didn't kill him.
Yes, it did. Because he didn't want to stop. Because he didn't feel like he could ever stop.
He's a dope addict, dude.
Why did he start doing dope?
Why does anybody start doing dope? Because they got the money to afford it.
There's actual evidence on when he started it. He didn't start it when he was a fucking teenager. It happened when he burned his fucking head at the Pepsi show.
He was getting high before that.
No.
Yep.
No.
It was just undercover, but he was getting high. Believe me. Let me tell you something. I was around a lot of Motown people. Because they all lived in my neighborhood. And I went to school with Stevie Wonder and his brother and shit, And I mean, come on, dude. When you're worshipped like that, it affects your head. Not just Joe Jackson, I'm just talking about period. Even if there was never a Joe Jackson.
No, I'm not saying that he would have been.
And people let me tell you something, dude. And I worked security for years. People are always giving you dope. People are always bringing dope to you. Marijuana, cocaine, heroin. People want to give it to you all the time. I couldn't tell you how many times I had to run off dope dealers back in the day when I was working security.
I mean, trust me, I know. They're big clients. You don't think I want to give Pistons? You don't think I want to give the Pistons my dope? Like, here you go, Cade. Here's some vegan shit for you.
I wonder how many of those guys get high off season.
Well, not even off season.
I went to school with a guy.
It ain't off season no more. They have a sport in fucking NBA.
Well, that's true. I went to school with a guy, Eddie. And Eddie was a professional basketball player. and he played in the NBA for about 3 or 4 years. And then, you know, I guess his career started going downhill. So he started going to Italy. He'd go to Italy and play ball in Italy.
Yeah.
He'd come back from Italy, he'd call me, hey Rudy, you know what's going on? Not much, man. Okay, man, I'm back. Oh, you are? Yeah, come over to the hotel. And I go over to the hotel, and I go to his room, and when I walked in the door, you could smell the crack. It was so strong. He was smoking so much crack. He had a little round glass crack pipe, and it was full of crack oil. I mean, when I say full, I mean,
is that a lot? I don't know. I've never done crack.
That'll fuck you up really, really, really bad, and it'll make you sick if you're not used to it. But yeah, when it's off season, that motherfucker, man, stayed high.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, they stay high all the time now in the eating season. The difference is they don't smoke crack because they know crack fuck you up. If you're a fucking $1 million sports player and you want to compete with other $1 million sports
Well,
players,
he only did that on his off season, when he was off season.
I'm just saying, nowadays you ain't doing that on your off season and compete. Like if you want to be like, that's why he played in Italy. Because if
he couldn't play here.
Yeah, because he couldn't. Because again, you have to fucking actually not do crack on the off season. You have to spend the whole off season practicing, upgrading something, fixing something, doing something different, learning a different skill, improving your game. If you don't, then you're out.
But some people are just naturals anyway. You know?
No.
Oh yeah, you got people that are just naturals.
Natural or not, every one of them had to put in work to get there.
Yeah,
Nothing comes natural.
But yeah, it does, man. You got some guys that are just naturally talented.
Yeah, again, I'm naturally talented in a way, but at most of the shit I start, I fuck up. But after 4 or 5 times, I'm better at it.
Yeah.
So again,
See,
I may be able to shoot a basketball.
See, I was pushed.
But I can't compete.
I know how they push people. In school, I was pushed. Oh, come on, Rudy, man. Why don't you be on the basketball? I don't like basketball. Why don't you be on the football team?
Trust me, I didn't get pushed.
I did.
There was no one pushing me like, oh, you average sized white man. You should definitely play basketball.
Or when I told them I didn't like basketball, they said, why don't you go out for football? I said, I don't want to. I don't like football. Why don't you run track? So I tried that for 2 weeks. I gave that shit up too. That whole thing, after school, after, train and do all that, I didn't want to do all that shit. Well, after school, I was done. I wanted to go home.
Man.
Yeah, I wanted to go home
to
and listen to music.
Yeah.
And work on my car.
Well, hopefully that conversation. Sorry for not reading the text. I know there's a lot, but I gotta go.
I forgot all about it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I gotta bring my computer. I'll try to bring my computer tomorrow.